White squall just arrived in Weymouth. We were just about to go out the door. Stuff started flying around in the house. Oh no, it's time to go out the door, weather and more, regardless of the weather. This is the front that's changing our weather pattern. And another signal to me that this winter is going to be very interesting. It'll be very interesting if Steve and T-Rex want to go out. Would it be cheating to stay indoors to do this? That's what I mean by white squall. The air blowing in all of a sudden from the west-northwest. We just had a gust to about 35. And the water is lifting up off of the Fore River also. We waited just a couple more minutes, maybe this will pass. Let's check out the radar. Oh yeah, there it is on the radar. Real deal. Tropical downpour. Air from Canada meeting air from actually the southeastern Pacific Ocean. Show the jet stream from yesterday here in a second. And we just had some thunder. Visibility looks like it's improved a little bit since the white squall arrived. The wind is still gusting, but maybe we can go out the door here in a minute. It's incidentally 9:30. Yeah, I had a rough night of sleep. And it's Wednesday, October 8th. So our Thursday front came on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And some nice rainfall numbers coming in. All right, let's go outside. Start job. Now 10 o'clock, a few minutes later, and it's still very dark. And you know what? I'm not even going to hook you guys up because I have a feeling you're not going to stay out very long. But you can still do the T-Rex triple hop and a 3 and a yes. And let's go. Let's go. Come on, Rex. Come on. Yeah. I had to kind of press him on that one. All right, so that little thunderstorm and squall has departed. I just looked at the Blue Hill Observatory data, and there was a gust past 30 miles an hour, but it was just after midnight. And the rainfall rate there just past 8 a.m. as that thunder squall approached was 6.3 inches per hour, but it didn't rain for an hour. At that rate, I mean, it's still raining and there's more rain upstream. And that radar we just showed, here's a wider version of the radar. And you can see the rain extends from north of eastern Maine right down across, rain now having ended in Vermont, but across Connecticut there's another batch of heavy rain. And T-Rex is so far hanging in there. And Steve is just thinking about it. I don't think Steve's coming out. Should we check the temperature? It's 60 degrees. And this is a major shift in the weather pattern. We're turning colder, and it's probably going to stay on the cold side. Now, the Euro has really come around from yesterday's deviant behavior. I just want to check this rain gauge really quick. Yeah, so it only started raining about sunrise or so here, and we've picked up about a half inch of rain. So these tomatoes are going to be cracking again. The tomatoes crack when they get a lot of water, like we had about 2 weeks ago. And Montauk daisies, everything's going to look a lot worse in a few days. It's going to be close to getting into the 30s here, but not getting into the 30s right in Weymouth. But the national advisories, watches, and warnings, there is now a frost and a freeze warning, advisory, whatever you want to call it. The blue on the map from Minnesota into New England for this incoming cold air. The regional roundup this morning I got up late. It was a rough night for sleeping there with the full moon, and plus thinking about the weather. And I always can't wait to see the new weather guidance. It's like Christmas morning every day for me. The regional roundup, sorry. We're falling through the 40s now in northern New England. Mount Washington is just falling into the 30s. I didn't check that data, but look at Long Island though. The dew point is still 70, or was still 70. So this is rich moisture from the south meeting up with very cold air from the north. And if we look at some of the rainfall amounts upstream, we're not getting this much, but are centered around Louisville, Kentucky. Over the last 48 hours, it's been 3 to 6 inches of rain. And how did this happen? How did you get so much with no-name storms? You know, the energy is going to come north from the tropics during hurricane season, regardless of whether it gets a name. And we talked yesterday about those storms in the Southeast Pacific Ocean on the west side of Mexico and Central America. Well, here's the jet stream map from yesterday. And note that air from south of California coming in off the Pacific. So air really from south of Hawaii coming into the central United States from the southwest, and then meeting up right over Kentucky and Ohio with the air coming down from the Canadian polar region up there north of Hudson Bay. So we have Hudson Bay meeting east of Hawaii, and there's a major pattern shift underway. Maybe major is overdoing it, but we've had record warmth now for a week, and the Euro, which showed another possible record warmth next week, has changed so much. I can't even wait to show you. I want to show you the map we showed yesterday for what was day 10, which is now day 9, next Thursday, we showed a storm way up there in central Canada and the 570 thickness here. That would be with a west wind. Temperatures would be in the 80s. Well, look what happened in the last 24 hours to that same time next Thursday. Actually, I'm going to show you next Thursday morning because I love that the blue is on there. It's a 540 thickness, almost cold enough for snow on top of our mountains with a major storm in the Gulf of Maine next Thursday. And that could be a named system. Subtropical storm Karen may be forming over the eastern United States next week. We call that home brew. So a major change, and the Euro now does bring that rain in here on Sunday. And the Euro, when we see it in a minute, almost looks like we're going to get about a 5 or 6 day nor'easter. Just warm enough that it's not snow. But in the winter, this would be a different story. So the weather map this morning, first thing, the air is so cold behind this front, it takes 2 fronts. So we have the first front just arriving in Boston and fading, and the second front, almost, if it were a few months later, I'd be calling it an Arctic front coming across Ontario, and it's freezing behind that front, and it's a very strong high-pressure system. It's been well advertised that it was going to come in. Just was a question of whether it was going to come in Tuesday night or Wednesday or Thursday. Well, now it looks like it's coming in on our Wednesday. So remember the guidance from a week ago. It showed, oh, the front's going to come in on Thursday, and Wednesday's going to be warm and windy with showers and thunderstorms late and into the night. And then it adjusted to Tuesday, and then if you add them up and divide by 3, you end up with the front coming in on Wednesday. So it's a Wednesday front. We've had fronts just about sometime between Tuesday and Friday, all season long. A lot of them have been dry. That's why we're in a bit of a drought, but I think this is a good drought denter. I just heard a little thunder. Did you hear a little thunder? Here's something. I don't know where the heavy equipment is. The tide's too high for them to work down here right now, right? Yeah. Wow. Tide very high, and it's not even supposed to be high for a couple more hours. So we get the king tide happening now too. Some marsh flooding high tides here. Hopefully take the bugs away a little bit. So what was I just talking about? The dual fronts, right, and the high pressure system coming in from Canada, and not quite cold enough for snow, but in the wintertime. Oh yes, I want to talk about first the blocking that's establishing, and then I want to talk about Jerry and what Jerry might do. So the blocking, we saw Jörg Kackelman in Europe yesterday. He's a friend. He posted this on X. He talked about this blocking, and he showed the ridge over Greenland. I said, wow, are we getting a Greenland block developing? I didn't really think about it too much, but then this morning I did go and check it's called the North Atlantic Oscillation, NAO, and when it goes negative, that's indicative of a Greenland block. And look at that red, so all those red squirrely lines, and the black line is sort of the ensemble mean of a serious Greenland block developing next week. And in wintertime, that often can mean you're going to get slow-moving storms and cold bottled up in Canada, and you can get a really exciting winter if you get more Greenland block negative than positive. So we got that positive going for us for anybody that's interested in having a snowy winter. I'm interested in zooming in on this boat, but my camera won't do it because it's all wet. Yes, we're getting soaked. I don't even know where the animals are. So the Greenland block is developing, and although Jerry is probably almost certainly not going to get involved with our weather pattern, it's something we have to talk about because it's a hurricane out there. And it's not a hurricane, actually. The National Hurricane Center says, oh, surprise to us, it became more disorganized last night. And sure enough, if you look at it, it was more symmetrical yesterday on this satellite image than it is this morning. And you can see the front to the north of Jerry, which is the old front that's been bringing all that rain to Florida. On that front is going to grab Jerry and do the Jerry curl. I'm not going to call it a recurve, because Rick doesn't like recurve, but Dennis came up with the Jerry curl. It's going to curl toward the north and then toward the east and miss all the land, maybe just grazing the Lesser Antilles with some tropical storm force winds. And there was another system over the Yucatan Peninsula, which is not really playing a role, but all those storms around Central America and south of California are going to become integral in our energy available for next week, and especially on the south side of this cold high that's coming in. So shall we cut to the chase now and show the Euro? This is the part I love the most. And here is the Euro, and there's our slow-moving front, and still potential for more than an inch of rain. Oh, I didn't even mention it. Stop, time out. I did want to show this because it's so beneficial. The amount of rain that fell in Vermont and into our snow-making ponds, which I'm sure Mountain Ops is very concerned about the level of water or lack thereof. So around Mount Mansfield, no, it wasn't 5 inches like the NAM said, but it was 1.9, pretty close. And New Haven, Vermont, picked up 2.6, and it was still raining. And around Killington also close to 2 inches. So great news for the snowmaking ponds. And this rain is just about done in northern Vermont, but it's going to keep going in southern Vermont and Maine through midday and afternoon as I get this published. And okay, now go back to the Euro. Sorry, here's the Euro. I'll start it again with today with this front moving east of Cape Cod. And then all those blue lines, those are lines cold enough for snow, 540, 534, 528. But there's very little moisture, and there's diffluence at the surface, confluence aloft, which means we're going to have more sun than clouds. But Mount Washington should be able to sneak out a 1/10 or 2 inches of snow for the first recorded snowfall of 25-26 on top of Mount Washington. And then we're having the frost and the freeze, and I don't think we get a freeze in Boston. But with radiational cooling, as the isobars go away tomorrow night and Friday morning, now you're going to have radiational cooling, and that means the valleys will be coldest, and we'll have some frost and freeze all around New England. Not here in Boston. Again, I keep saying that because I'm so concerned about my garden. And I believe this is a 3-day weekend. Is that right? Columbus Day weekend? And I think, I really didn't research that. And it looks like we're okay on Saturday, which could be the 15th nice Saturday in a row for Cape Cod and southeastern Mass, the areas that missed those tornadoes back on September 6th. And then on Sunday, here comes that storm up from the south. Look at all those isobars. High pressure from Canada. We have a little subtle front bringing new high pressure into Canada beyond the one that we have now. And those isobars really tighten up. That looks like a slow-moving nor'easter deepening to about 995, if not a little deeper. The high pressure is about 1030 in Maine, and that means along the coast from Cape Cod all the way down to North Carolina, we're going to have winds of 20 to 40 miles an hour. And it looks like this system wants to cut off aloft, meaning it's going to stall, and it could just loop around out there. Look at that. It kind of comes up, and then it kind of goes down a little on Monday into Tuesday, but we still have some rains. Southern New England, far northern New England may miss this, although the GFS brings it up into northern New England. So GFS is doing better, but at least the Euro has it back now. And then it looks like it tries to let up there on Wednesday a bit, doesn't it? And then look what happens on Thursday. There it comes back up on the map and is looping back toward us. And now I want to stop this on, Thursday. I did already stop it on Thursday. So let's just keep it going through Thursday. And the 546 thickness instead of the 570. And the storm deepens into the lower 980s. 982, oh my goodness. That would be a resurgence of wind and rain, especially now from Maine to Cape Cod on Friday into Saturday. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Wait, Friday's the end, Tim. Well, I get a little exasperated. What's the word? A little too irrational exuberance when I'm looking at this map because I'm thinking winter and wow. Anyhow, we're stopping this now. It's Friday is day 10. And let's see if today is the 8th, that would be the 17th, October 17th. And I hope I have that right. I wrote it in the upper left, whatever time this is. And there is a vigorous shortwave coming across the Great Lakes with it looks like almost cold enough for snow across Lake Superior. Oh, and the guidance got rid of that huge storm for Lake Superior at that time. But something's going to happen. There's a lot of cold there digging in through central Canada. We're going to be into the negative Greenland block. And although it looks like we have air from the northeast in eastern New England, that would be day 5 of a nor'easter, and from the south in New York and western New England, as those two systems are going to be competing, and maybe they try and just stall over us next weekend. So odds are pretty low that next weekend is going to be much nicer. So we have a significant pattern change underway. I love my summer flowers, but I also love my winter sports, and whatever season we're in, I get sad when it ends. All right, so this is the end of the weather part. The Enmore yesterday, they were out there working on the beach first thing yesterday morning, so I got loose challenging the tide there before he ran out, and then just kind of calling the play-by-play as clouds were thickening. The front arrived in Vermont yesterday afternoon. Josh says the leaves are probably going to all fall down, so past peak foliage at the Canadian border. And then the sunset, we had a pretty nice sunset going on, a little bit of a sundog before the thicker clouds came in, and a bonus moonrise is our Enmore from yesterday. I was going to finish it right there in that boat, but I said I want to see where the animals are. There's Steve. Steve came not out the door at all, and T-Rex, I think, is up there on the couch. Yep, they are. All right, Enmore, yesterday's weather today. I want to start the Enmore early. Just dumped another load of boulders there right in the way of the track to escape. The tide is incoming fairly quickly, and the sun has just barely illuminated the work area here. I'm going to do a time lapse as quickly as I can upload the video I just made and get this thing on a tripod. And more, just past 8, barely done taping yesterday's video, but it was Steve. What I want to see is these boulders. Okay, so those boulders were just dumped there, and I'm like, how is he going to escape with all those boulders sitting in his way? And he moved all the boulders to the other side of the excavator. So what's going to happen here is the sun's going to illuminate that area, and he's going to have to evacuate due to an incoming tide. Those boulders for tomorrow morning. So a quick little time lapse of that in the big dig. Wait, what was that? Time out. Let's do this. Okay, that was just too cool not to get. All right, let's go back. The water's coming up over the treads here. Some obstructed view seating. Say, clean up that view a little bit with my machete. Too late. No need to clean up the view right now. All right, that was fun. I'll be back. Probably not today. High tide's in the middle of the day. He'll be back within a week or two with more fuel. Eventually it's going to get cold again. Oh wait, it's getting colder by the second right now in northern New England, isn't it? Because this is yesterday's weather today. We got a cold faux pas. But not before another 80-degree day. Tuesdays are good if you can get them. Certainly not getting colder here in Weymouth on this midday. Rex wants to take us for a walk. Yeah. It is like August 37th, like we said earlier. Did you hear that bird, Rex? It's 82 degrees here at 1 o'clock. We've got some cumulus. It's still warm in most of New England, but the clouds have moved in north and west. T-Rex, stop. And we get our rain tomorrow, which is now today. Hi. Oh, interesting. See, it did not rain here, but the ground is all wet because the ground cooled to the dew point, 62 last night, and there's no sun here. And this is often in the wintertime, we talk about how the last patches of ice remain here. We're a long way from winter, and there's those Atlas cedar cones still dropping pollen. Everything's covered with pollen in our neighborhood. And the invasive burning bush is burning. What do you see, Rex? What are you looking at? Down, boy. Ready? Oh, we got a baby carriage full of dog. Wonderful view up here. Interesting that our neighbors here started grapes. I'm not sure what they're trying to capture, but they have a heart. Clovers and grapes in the front yard. Sure, why not? Never mow, a grape vineyard. Beautiful. And a pool over there, looks like it's closed up for the season. And the Bruins opening game in Boston is, I think, what, Thursday? Which is, now if this is yesterday's weather today, which would be tomorrow, right? Right. Josh says the front just came through Montgomery, Vermont. Leaves are being shredded, the wind is blowing. Meanwhile, here in Weymouth, we've got some mowing. Green grass in October, short sleeves. Hey, Jerry, looking good. How much pollen from that Atlas cedar? Or those Atlas cedars? This much pollen. Feel the summer again. Final hours. Add a little accent to my autumn color, though. Steve. There was just a Steve there. Now there's a T-Rex. Anyone seen a Doug around here anywhere? Not a dog, a Doug. There's this one around here somewhere. Come on, Rex.
Yeah, crazy.
Come on, Steve. Go ahead. Let's go find a Doug. A dog? Did you say dog? No, I said a Doug. There's got to be one around here somewhere. Steve, you're holding up the plank here. There you go. All right. No lines on you. No lines on you. No lines on you. T-Rex, who's that out here? Who's that? Who's that?
We already said
You already said hi? Old school. Yeah, but he, you know, it's a dog. It's like brand new. Every 2 seconds is brand new. Look at those roses, Steve, huh? Beautiful. Any rabbits in there? Lots of tomatoes. Gorgeous. Multi-layered sky now. It looks like we may have a front incoming. Alto cumulus. Get some sun tanning going on over here.
enjoying the last day of fall.
The last day of fall. It's winter tomorrow. Wow, it says 75. Kind of surprised. Felt more like 85 to me. We'll see about that. I guess it is in the 70s. And there's somebody swimming. We always have people swimming around here, even in the winter. And the name of that vessel right there? Hydronaut. Sort of like astronaut, but with a hydra. Oh, look at these layers. As the sun gets lower, we're back to the optical phenomena again. Sundog trying to form right here. I think I should do a time lapse of the sunset. Go with the time lapse of the big dig construction this morning. Those boulders. I'm sure they're out there again this morning, right? The mystery of Whitey Bulger. He's actually still alive.
He doesn't answer his damn phone.
It's Whitey Bulger. Don't tell anybody. It's on the run. Sundog not long for the world because of that layer of lower clouds coming in. A lot of wind up in the sky from the west to northwest. Front to northern New England. It's 80 degrees. It hit 80 in Logan anyway. And nice breeze from the west. Is there any such thing as too many time lapse? Well, probably, but I love them all, so pause this one and show the one from Cape Cod and the one from Weymouth. Cape Cod first. How much rain we getting on Cape Cod today, which is from my vantage tomorrow, but this is yesterday's weather today, and there's a chance that we're getting a couple of inches of rain. Cape Cod has really hit the jackpot several times, so it should be interesting. And this cloud here in Weymouth looks so fascinating. I don't think we're going to get much color. I want to close in on the texture right here a little bit and show the time lapse of the entire day from Weymouth. And that cloud right there with the sun disappearing. And let's just widen it out and watch the end of this. Let's see if we can get any color as the moon comes up behind us. Thanks for watching. Piano music and the rest of this time lapse. Bonus. Whoops, gotta leave the scene. There it is. More and more and more. Can never stop.